All right, we are on 17.3 part 2. So I'm going to start with side angle side. Now side angle side similarity is a little bit different just because when you have your two triangles and you're checking for side angle side similarity, are they similar? What happens is you have to have a side divided by side with that ratio, and another side, let me do a different color here so it's easy to spot, another side whose ratio side to side are the same. So AB over DE must equal, that ratio must equal BC over EF. Those two ratios must equal each other, and the angle between them, and that's very important. It can't be either of the other two angles. It must be the angle that's included. That's why the A is in the middle. It's an included angle. Those angles have to be exactly congruent, and the two sides that are making the angle must be proportional, and that means they must have the same ratio. So that is our side angle side similarity. What it says is if two corresponding sides are proportional, that means this side is proportional to the other side, and the included angle are congruent between the two triangles, and the triangles are similar. And that's what side angle side similarity says. It's important to note that those three conditions must occur. So when we're looking at examples, determine if the examples below are similar by side angle side similarity. If yes, write the similarity statement. Notice that you have a side and you have another side with measures on them, and you must have the angle between them, and we indeed do. We have a side angle side setup, but that doesn't tell us they're similar yet. We know the angles are the same. The angles are congruent. That means we can check off the angle, but we have to check also that 8 over 6 is equal to 20 over 15. Again, start with this triangle both times for both ratios. 8 over 6 has to equal 20 over 15. And does it? And again, you can just use your calculator. 8 divided by 6 is 1.3, the bar above it. 20 divided by 15 is 1.3 with the bar above it. So the second condition that the two sides are proportional exists also. So because of that, because both conditions exist, we would say, yep, triangles are similar. All right, so we have to do a triangle similarity statement. And I have my sides, proportional sides lined up. I can probably just note that these two are congruent angles, P and L, because they are along the hypotenuse, the long side, and at the end of that. So I can say none, 1, 2, so JKL is similar to MNP. All right, and that's going to be our similar triangle statement. And they are similar because they have a side angle side, two sides that are proportional, and a congruent angle between them. All right, now the next one is a little tricky because they are overlapping. So this triangle right here is one of the triangles, and the similar triangle is this one right here. So I hope that you can see those. If you can't, then it's always a good idea to rewrite them separate. But you can see that this side right here, this side should be proportional to that side, so small to long. And then this side right here, this small side, should be proportional to the long side. In your head, you're going to have to separate the two, though, to see that. So 15 over 25 must equal 12 over 21. Okay, those are the two sides that have to be proportional. Now, the angle requirement is met because A is a reflexive angle. It is the same angle for the small blue triangle and the large yellow triangle. Same exact angle. So the angle measurement A is taken care of. Now, if this part is true, then that side requirement, the proportional side requirement, is also satisfied. 15 divided by 25 is 0.6. Does that equal 12 divided by 21? And that is 0.5857. 57 is not the same as 0.6. So those are not equal. Sides aren't proportional. Therefore, that says proportional. Therefore, triangles are not similar. All right, so that's the lesson. Now, when you get to your homework, which is directly following it in your packet, Okay, so what you're going to be doing, I'll do number 1 with you. I need to see what our time's at. Okay, so determine whether the triangles are similar, and if similar, state how, by angle similarity, side similarity, or side similarity, and then write a similarity statement. So these are just like what we were doing in the homework. So here, with number 1, notice that we have a side, angle, side setup. Now, we can't just automatically assume that they're proportional because we have a side angle side setup. What we have to do is check our angle and our sides and make sure they're proportional and the angles are congruent. And the angles are congruent. So angle F is indeed congruent to angle T. They're marked that way, so that's taken care of. Now let's look at sides. And what we have to check are small. And again, start with the small. 3 small, smaller than 5, and 9 smaller than 15. So we're going to take 3 to 9 and set that equal to 5 to 15. All right? Are they the same? And you can see they're both 1/3, right? 1/3. They both simplify to 1/3. Divide out of 3, you get 1/3. Divide out of 5, you get 1/3. So the sides are indeed proportional and the angles are congruent. Therefore, we could say, yep, by side angle side similarity, the triangles are similar. All right, they're similar. And then our similarity statement. Now, along the short side, I'm going to mark a double arc. Here we have a single arc and then a double arc. So along the short side, I'm going to mark a double arc. And that gives me the second congruent angle so that I can see it more easily. And we'll go none, no arcs, 2, 1 to 2. So GFE is similar to triangle. None to 1 to 2 is STR. All right, now when I correct these, I'm just going to be looking at making sure G's lined up with S, F's lined up with T, and E's lined up with R, and I don't necessarily care what order they're in. I just want to make sure that you've lined up the correct congruent angles in your statement. All right, so that should help with that. All right, I could do a couple more. Let's see. Let's do number 10. All right, number 10 is kind of tricky. Number 10, we have an angle that's congruent right there, right? We don't know any side measures. So side similarity is out and side angle side is out because they both involve sides and we have no side measurements. So all we have are angles. We need to check to see if any of the other angles are congruent. And I hope most of you are raising your hand out there and saying, oh, I know. This angle is congruent to this angle because they're corresponding. I have 2 parallel lines, and when I have 2 parallel lines, right here and right here are parallel, then I know that the angles that are corresponding angles, their relationship is always such that they're congruent. So I have congruent angles. And by the way, you could have checked these also. Those are also congruent. I'm going to have to hold off for a minute. Never mind, they're not saying anything. So I have 3 sets of congruent angles. So I know that they're similar. Sorry, I keep saying that. You're just used to congruent, not similar. But yes, they are similar by angle similarity, and that means that triangle, and I can just go 1, 2, 3. Oh, I'm going to write it down here. The similarity statement. Triangle HCB is similar to, and I'm going 1, 2, 3 to triangle HIG. Easy peasy. All right. Okay. Let's look at number 11 real quick. Okay. I have two sides. I don't have a third side. I do have an angle. They're vertical angles unmarked. But I don't have side similarity because I don't have a third side. I don't know those two sides. I don't have side angle side similarity because I need those sides. I need side angle side. So, and I don't have two angles. I don't have angle similarity. And those are my only three options. So we don't have enough information here to determine they're similar, therefore we have to assume they're not. Okay? All right, well, I'm going to stop now, and I'm going to let you guys work on this, and when we do our little Google Meets, you can ask me any questions you might have. All righty. So there's 7.3 part 2.